My name's Chris Roberts, as you just heard, and I am 63 or 4, I can't remember properly, and I live in Wales in the UK, so I'm a very proud Welshman, and I have 5 children with my lovely wife Jane, and they're all grown up now, and we have several grandchildren, and we live on the north coast. My daily life is totally different from what it used to be. I don't work now, but I keep myself very busy in the garden or with volunteering. I can be out doing talks at universities and hospitals, different countries, like here in Luxembourg. So my day can be very different from what it used to be. I used to build motorcycles and work in a garage all day. So it's totally different, but it's a new life. And I think that's what you have to do. When you've got a life-changing illness, you have to change your life. So I'm the same person, but with a different life completely. I was diagnosed about 10, 11 years ago, and with young onset. It was awful. I thought my life was over. I associated it with all the things that you hear on the press and on TV, which are all about people in the very late stages. And I felt a lot of guilt. I was depressed. I thought I was going to go into the late stages overnight. And it was just misconceptions and ignorance. There's a beginning and a middle before the end stages, and some people never reach the end stages of dementia. So after a year or so of feeling depressed and sorry for myself and sorry for my family and what I was going to do to them, I decided I have to understand this illness that I didn't know about. And the more research I did, the more knowledge I accumulated, the better I could understand it, the better I could live with it. And it made life a lot easier then, because I knew what was coming. I knew about symptoms. I knew what to expect and understand. And I learned to live alongside it. I don't like the phrase living well with dementia. Who lives well? You know, we all have bills, children, and, you know, even millionaires don't live well. Everyone has their problems. But you can live with dementia, you can live alongside dementia, and you can live better than people realise. If you know about things, you can understand things. If you find out all you can about something that's troubling you, the trouble's less. I live in a small village where I've been very open about my diagnosis, because as with any hidden disability, hidden illness, I have a lung disease as well, which you can't see. You have to be open with people, otherwise how can you expect help? How can you expect them to understand if you're not acting as normal, you know, whatever normal is? So I've been very open about it. So when I go into the village, people know me, they help me without me even realising that I'm being helped. And it just makes life easier. Nobody should keep a secret about anything. You know, it just adds to the very stigma that we complain about. I felt like I wasn't contributing anymore. I'd stopped my business because of not understanding finances and making bad decisions and things because of dementia. And I reached a stage where I was just sat in the house, feeling useless, you know. And I couldn't use the Hoover properly. I couldn't use electrical things. I was cutting through cables. They were coming out the wall. I didn't know where to put them. And it was just chaos. And then we found cordless tools, cordless Hoovers. Now the Hoover is mine. I contribute to the household. I have a cordless chainsaw, a cordless plane, a cordless whatever, a cordless lawnmower. So now I can only go out and work for as long as the battery lasts, which helps me. And then I have to rest for a couple of hours, which is good, while the battery charges again. So I can't overdo it. So it works. It's a win-win. And it's finding that independence again as well. You know, if you stop using something, we learned very early on, it doesn't mean you can't do that job anymore. You can't do that chore anymore. I stopped writing, and I sat down with my daughter, who's been very good because she's grown up with it. My youngest daughter is now 26, I think. She was very young when I was diagnosed. And we've always sat down, and we, as a family, we always looked for solutions. If I can't do something, okay, but what can we do about it? And we discovered I couldn't write anymore. It was getting unintelligible. I couldn't even read it, and it was all over the place. I couldn't see the letters in my head. So I was making them up, trying to look efficient, like I could still write. And so she said, try this. And she gave me her tablet. And as soon as you go to write, the keyboard comes up and I can see all the letters. So now I use that a lot. I don't write anymore, but I carry my tablet around with me and I can type, you know, so it's a way of getting around things. I stopped using the computer and thought my computer days were over. I've always been very good with IT. And again, we sat down and what's the problem? And we realised it's about multitasking. It was the mouse, the keyboard, the screen, all having to work things out. And again, the tablet coming so, because it's one touch screen, one thing to think about. And there's so many apps and things out there. And another misconception is people with dementia can't learn anymore. Well, we can. Yes, yeah. Especially if someone sits down and has support you. And we've always had camper vans and caravans and motorhomes. And I didn't enjoy them as much as I enjoy them now. It's fantastic. We leave the house and dementia does not exist anymore because there's no chores to do, there's no obstacles, there's no hurdles, there's no roads to cross. It's one room living. I can leave all the cupboard doors open. I can leave the one door open. You know, I know where everything is. I don't get lost in one room. So that's very good because we live in an old house and I get very lost in that. I get lost outside. We go to a campsite and people are so friendly on campsites. They wouldn't give you the time of day on the street. But on a campsite, they have this, everyone wants to speak to you, which is great because then I take it that they want to be educated about dementia as well. So I educate people in the conversation and then it takes the pressure off Jane because they're all looking out for me then. My wife thought it'd be a very good idea. I've always been very good at do it yourself, but started to lose the abilities. I'd forget, I couldn't measure very well and things like that. So she set me the task of making a bird table for my daughter. She'd moved into a new house. And I was like, oh, really? But then I thought, right, YouTube, things, you know, I'd look and see how you did things. And I copied the bird table that we had in our garden. So that was good. I had to keep looking at it and I built her. It was too big at the time. I didn't realise because I built it outside. And when I tried to get it indoors, it was higher than the ceiling. So we had to reduce it a bit. I'm not very good with heights and things. So we reduced the size and it's going to last 100 years because I put 1,000 screws in it. I like to be careful, you know, and make things last. It's a bit OCD, I think it's part of my dementia. But then my other daughter saw it and she would like one, but she said, I don't want the same one. So it looked slightly different, but it was on the basis of ours still. And then my other daughter wanted one, and then my boy wanted one. So I built all these different tables, but slightly the same but different, and personalised them to who they were. And I absolutely enjoyed it. I wanted to get up earlier and go and do this, you know. And I take great pleasure now in when I visit I inspect to make sure they're looking after it and check on them. It's just trying to be independent, I think, and still doing, and not just sat, you know, waiting for the inevitable death that everyone waits for. It's about living. So at the moment I'm helping one of my daughters renovate a house. We have a talk in the evening about what plans we're going to do the next day. And then they have to go through it all again the next day. So I don't know why they do it in the first place. And then they have to keep reminding me during the day, because I will start doing something completely different than what we did. But they're just, yes, okay, you know, Dad's got a bad memory, it's okay. So they just remind me. I don't mind being reminded. So I'll do a bit of painting and a bit of this and a bit of that. And whatever I don't understand, I'll look on YouTube and ask. And we get there. It takes me a lot longer to do things these days. I can probably, what I can do in 3 days now, I probably used to do in a couple of hours. But it saves them a lot of money. It gives me a lot of confidence. And we're all happy. I think no one should be scared of asking for help. You know, it's if you had a toothache, you'd ask for help. You'd Google, you'd find out where to go, and it's the same with dementia. You know, you can live with dementia. The more we speak about it, the more people understand, and we should talk about it. And the more we talk about it, the less stigma there will be. Find out as much as you can. That's the first thing. Be honest. Have the conversations that you should have about it with your family, your friends. Only then are you going to get the help and support that you need. Find out as much as you can. I think I've just said that. But live. Just live with it. Find out different ways of doing things. You can still go on holidays. I go to all-inclusive. I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about getting into trouble with money. I can buy anyone a drink. It's all free. I don't have to worry about the stress of looking at menus, which can be quite stressful when someone hands you a 16-page menu, you know, and you have to choose something. I just look around and pick something, and if you don't like it, you put it back. And it's just about adapting and finding a different way to live. It's about finding solutions, and don't be scared. Don't forget that I'm not just a diagnosis. I'm still dad. I'm still husband. We tried to be patient and carer, me and my wife, but we were rubbish at it. Not everyone's a natural carer, so we've gone back to husband and wife. I think just continue to be a family and continue to look at your relative, loved one, whatever, as a person still, because they are. I'm still Chris. I may have some health problems, but that doesn't make me any different from anyone else. And I think that's what you've got to do. I think another bit of advice I'd like to give to people that we learned quite early on. When I was first diagnosed, my wife, Jane, wanted to wrap me in cotton wool, as it were, keep me safe, and make me better. You know, the scenario of feeding someone soup and looking after them until they're better. But with dementia, the more you do for someone, the more you take over, the less they will be able to do. Because if you're not doing something as often as you can, then you will forget how to do it. I need support, I need reminders, I need help, but I don't need people to be doing things for me that I can still do. People were taking away my independence and my abilities by trying to help, by doing too much. So I was being disabled instead of enabled.